Hello everyone, today I'm happy to invite Tim Carroll to be my guest to talk about the Royal Ascot Day 4. Hello Tim, welcome, how's it going?
Yeah, good. Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, all good. I just enjoyed the race of the second day of Royal Ascot. So before the topic today, I would like to introduce you to our audience first. Tim is one of the TV presenters in Sky Sports Racing. He always involved not only local events, but also overseas racing, such as Hong Kong and United States. Hello, Tim. I knew you have been to Hong Kong international races before. Do you enjoy your time in Hong Kong?
Oh, absolutely. I love going to Hong Kong. I wish I could spend more time there. It was a little bit of a shame we couldn't go over in April with everything that's happened, but hopefully, fingers crossed, everything will be back to normal or fairly close to normal for December for the international meeting.
Yeah, I hope to meet you in Hong Kong in this year, December. Usually in Hong Kong, the weather is fine during the whole year. However, in Royal Ascot, especially in the UK, the weather is also always unpredictable. So would you please tell us about how will be the weather on Friday and Saturday event?
Well, I'm not a forecaster, but we've had a bit of rain today. They're predicting rain for day 3. On Friday, they're saying there's a 50% chance of rain, and I would imagine by then we'll have rain-affected ground. It should clear up on Saturday. They're saying only around about 10%, but we've had a couple of days where it hasn't been too bad, but I would imagine it's going to be rain-affected ground from here on in.
Thank you so much, Tim. So do you have any impressive winner from the first 2 meetings?
Well, I think we've had a few. The one we'd have to start with is Batash in the King's Stand. He's a wonderful sprinter. It was great to see him win the race this year as well. He's been second in it a couple of times. I think he's a 6-year-old now, and let's be honest, he hasn't always been easy. He's been a pretty difficult horse over the years, but I think he's got a little bit better with age mentally, and it probably helped him on Tuesday that there was no crowd there because he didn't get stirred up. But the performance itself was excellent. He ran a very quick time, considering that there was rain-affected ground. There was soft in the description. In fact, he ran, I think it was either the 5th or the 6th quickest King's Stand of all time, and plenty of those would have been run on a lot quicker ground than we saw on Tuesday. So I thought he was very, very good in the King's Stand. Circus Maximus in the Queen Anne. He doesn't get a lot of fanfare, this horse, but he's now won 3 Group 1s. He tends to not win by a big margin. He's one of these horses that fights and fights well. I've got to say, though, I watched the race and it wasn't run quickly on the front end. And I sort of said on social media afterwards, by gee, I really do wish John Moore and the Connections had bought Beauty Generation over this year. I know he probably hasn't been as good this year as he has previous years, but the way that race was run, I think he would have been right there because it was dominated by horses on the pace because it wasn't run quickly. We know he's got a lot of pace. And even though I don't necessarily think Ascot would play to his strengths, that uphill run, I do think this year he would have been right there. But Circus Maximus was good. We also saw Frankly Darling on day 1 in the Riversdale. She definitely looks like an Oaks horse. She won that race despite the fact she didn't do everything right in it. And I'll just mention Pile Drive as well in the King Edward, the 7th. He's a horse that was, well, he basically was passed in at the sale ring. I think eventually he went for 10K, which is peanuts for a racehorse these days. And he now looks like a genuine Derby contender. He stayed on strongly. He wasn't stopping on the line. And William Muir, his trainer, said afterwards that there's plenty more to work with there as well. So they're the ones I would take out of day 1.
Thank you very much, Tim. I really enjoyed the first 2 days of the meeting. I also think that Batash win is quite impressive for me, and I'm glad to see he can get his first win in at Ascot. So let's move on to the Friday races. One horse Born to Pride was scratched on the first day, and now she will run in the Queen's Fast because the trainer William Higgins said that this horse prefers a softer ground. So is there any chance for her to win in the Queen's Fast?
It's a very open race this year, so you certainly wouldn't say she couldn't win it, and you're right. She won a maiden on slow ground, so she'll definitely like it if the rain does come, the predicted rain. In fact, when she won that, she had Peaceful back in second. Now, Peaceful has subsequently come out and won the Irish 1,000 guineas, so that form has a good look about it. She resumed recently. I would say she was maybe a little bit disappointing on a resumption, but you kind of get the feeling as well that they've left plenty to work with there. It wouldn't surprise me if she improved a lot on Friday. She gets a £3 fillies allowance as well. Hopefully she'll get ground to suit. We know fillies can win this race. They don't win it too often, but if you go back to 2012, Estimate, who was owned by Her Majesty the Queen, won this race, and as we know, Estimate went on to win a Gold Cup. You tend to find that this race produces a good stayer. Kew Gardens 2018, 2017 with Stradivarius, leading light Estimate. So I wouldn't say she's without a chance, but she's not my on-top selection. Look, I would think Berkshire Rocco, he's done everything right so far. He's got plenty of stamina in his pedigree. He's by Sir Percy, who was a Derby winner, but he does produce horses that are quite stout. He ran second to English King in the trial, the Derby trial at Lingfield last time out. Now, English King has subsequently gone to the top of the betting for the Derby, so that's a pretty good run. Andrew Balding, trained by Andrew Balding, Usheen Murphy aboard, so you've got a very strong combination there as well. But it is a very, very open race this year.
I see. Thank you. And actually, I think the Harwick Stake is one to watch during the whole carnival. We already witnessed so many classy winners of the race, such as Bristol Ocean and so on in recent years. Do you think this race actually deserves a Group 1 title?
Interesting, because it has produced a few good winners. Defoe won it last year, Crystal Ocean in 2018. If you go back a few years ago, Sea Moon, Harbinger, Jeune won it in the 90s before going to Australia and winning a Melbourne Cup. It doesn't kind of have the depth of say, a King George, though. If you have a look at this race, the last 12 winners of this race, 9 of them have gone on to the King George. You normally, if you run well in this race, that's the natural progression. You'll go to the King George. Only one horse has gone on to win the King George, and that was Harbinger back in 2010. And when you have a look at the honour roll of a race like the King George, it's a couple of levels above. You've got Enables won 2 of the last 3. You've got Poet's Word, who of course we saw in Hong Kong. Highland Reel, who was a champion in Hong Kong as well. Postponed to Gruder, Daydream, an Arc winner. It's probably worthy of a Group 1 if you compare it to a few Group 1 races around the world, but by 2,400 metre standards in Europe, I would say no. As we know here in Europe and in Japan, I would think anyway, most people would say the best 12 furlong or the best 2,400 metre horses in the world are in those 2 destinations overall. I don't think it's quite worthy of Group 1 status in Europe.
I see. Thank you. So in this year, which horse do you think will win in the Harwick Stakes?
Again, it looks pretty open on paper, but I like El Calm. Look, he's from the Mark Johnson yard. He's the best horse Mark Johnson's got at the moment. And Mark will have him absolutely peaking for this. To me, he looks like a horse. He's won on firm ground and he's won on soft ground, but he looks better suited to soft ground. In fact, when he won at York last year, he won the York Stakes, a Group 2 race there. That was on soft ground, and that's been his most impressive victory to date. He had Adib back in second on that occasion. Adib has subsequently run second in the Champion Stakes in Europe, then won 2 Group 1s in Australia and came out and ran second in the Prince of Wales today. So that form has a good look about it. When he resumed, he ran second in the Brigadier Gerard. The horse that won that was Lord North, and Lord North has subsequently come out and won the Prince of Wales today in hugely impressive fashion. So it'd be Eloquam would be my selection in this year's renewal.
Thank you. So lastly, I would like to talk about the Commonwealth Cup. Can you tell us your selection of this horse to include one dark horse?
Okay, well, I'd have to go with Pierre Lappin from the Roger Varian yard. He's already got a rating of 110. He won 2 from 2 as a 2-year-old. He didn't really look like a 2-year-old, so he won those races despite the fact he wasn't precocious. His half-brother, Harry Angel, ran second in this race. He was a very good sprinter. I think there's a lot of improvement there, and Roger Very in the yard are flying at the moment. Again, it does look open on paper. There's a lot of horses here we don't really know too much about, but on pedigree, he should really be a 7 furlong to a mile horse, so a stiff 6 furlongs at Ascot at this stage of his career should suit him.
Thank you very much, Tim. Thank you very much for your time, for giving us so much precious information. I hope you will enjoy the Ascot meeting. Thank you very much. I hope we can meet in Hong Kong someday. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. My pleasure.
好，而家就等我總結翻頭先同阿 Tim 嘅對話內容。我哋傾過幾場嘅賽事啦，咁啊逐場講啦。首先就係第4場嘅夏域錦標啊，阿 Tim 喺呢場賽事裏面呢，就比較中意呢一匹7號馬一板一眼。 至於去到三寶嘅頭關，亦即係第5場嘅英聯邦盃，阿添提供到就係6號嘅彼得兔。然後就去到第6場嘅女皇瓶賽。首先啦，我就問到阿添點樣睇呢一匹9號嘅天生傲骨，佢覺得咧天生傲骨都 OK 嘅，不過咧佢就中意2號嘅巴郡樂多啲啦。三寶嘅頭2關，阿添嘅心水咧都同大家分享完啦。咁至於我嘅心水咧，大家可以到時留意翻我個 Facebook Fan Page Shereen 買定離手，就可以睇到我當日各場嘅選擇噶啦。今集嘅越洋買定離手就講住咁多先啦，下一次賽前再同大家見面啦，拜拜。